12. The Nightbeat starts right now.
A San Antonio mother recovering months after a deadly attack inside her home left one of her daughters dead. Coming up on the Nightbeat, what she's saying about her ex-husband's indictment.
And trying to keep the people and the product cool. It's a struggle for some businesses in the midst of this extreme heat. How a local ice cream shop is fighting to keep its supply cold and its energy use low. But first, let's talk about that extreme heat. San Antonio is certainly feeling it with temperatures in the triple digits, but the heat wave is almost nationwide.
That's right. Meteorologist Adam Caskey joins us now. So, Adam, at 5 o'clock, you said that we were nearing a potential record. Did we break it?
1 degree shy of the record high temperature today. The record high 105, which was actually set on this day last year, but we made it to 104 for the high temperature this afternoon, which is 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Of course, we're feeling the heat. We're also feeling the humidity. In a few minutes, we'll look at the highest heat index values for the day, talk about the temperature trend ahead, and where the heat high is going to go this weekend and what that means for temperatures in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Now to the delicate and sometimes expensive balance of keeping the ice cream cold and the air conditioner running. CPS Energy asking customers to conserve power, particularly at the hottest part of the day between 3 and 8 p.m.
Now, the company says that today and tomorrow are yellow days. That means that CPS expects a large demand for power. Our night team's Avery Everett spoke with one business owner trying to do its part and stay open.
So we have a Dear Texas pecan.
Behind every flavor is a family recipe at Freshest Ice Creams.
It's part of the experience.
But owner Angela Cordova is having trouble freezing her product in triple-digit temperatures.
All this part here, like getting melt.
She's relying on fans to help keep these freezers cool.
And I think you're buying one more.
Ice cream that's homemade, hand-scooped, and now, unfortunately, heating up.
For this hot summer is getting too hot, even the freezer.
Ice cream is a staple to the summer heat, but so is CPS asking its users to conserve some energy to protect the power grid. Since the start of the summer this year, CPS has reported almost an equal number of green days to yellow days, and they say that's not going away anytime soon.
Summer hit us pretty quickly, and when you're looking at temperatures up in the triple digits, it's hot, it's uncomfortable.
James Taylor is an electrical project manager for John Wayne Service Company. He says usage of the power grid is peaking.
It's very worked.
But small changes like using fans can make all the difference.
Anything you can do to keep that AC system from continuously running is definitely not only going to help the grid, but it's going to help your electricity bill.
For now, Freshest Ice Creams is making do.
This is too much, but this is my season.
The thermostat may read 79 degrees, but Cordova says she's going to keep on scooping.
Let's go, God. And here we go.
Holding a smile and hoping her business heats up, just like the temperature. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, and we certainly wish her luck. You saw that ice cream shop owner using fans. That's actually one way that you can also help conserve power and lower your electric bill. CPS also recommends closing the shades and the blinds for the windows that are exposed to that direct sunlight. Also turning off and unplugging non-essential lights and appliances. And holding off on using those large appliances. We're talking about the washing machine, especially during peak demand hours. And again, that's from 3 to 8 p.m. We have more energy conservation tips on our website, KSAT.com.
A woman found dead in a field behind a shopping center, and investigators are trying to figure out why. Was it the heat? Sheriff Javier Salazar says someone driving an ATV found that body just after 1 this afternoon on North Foster Road between Summerfest and Ben's Engelman on the city's far east side. Right now, deputies still don't know what led up to her death. The sheriff did indicate the woman was homeless, so he says her death could have been heat-related. Salazar also pointed out the woman had some minor injuries on her face when they found her.
That she's partially clothed and does have some signs of trauma, but at this point it's just too early to tell if that trauma contributed in any way to her death or if this is just a heat-related death.
The intersection near that crime scene was closed down during the investigation for a while this afternoon. For the latest details on this, you can follow along on our website, KSAT.com.
Hackers got into one of the country's largest healthcare systems. We're talking about HCA Healthcare, and the data breach is affecting all of its locations. That includes the ones right here in San Antonio. The company says that an unknown party released information like patient names, emails, and phone numbers on an internet forum. However, that leak did not include patient treatment details or social security numbers.
People who go through violence at this level don't survive.
But Mariah Claire did survive the attack in her own home, along with her 2-year-old daughter. Her 11-month-old daughter, her baby, did not survive. The man police say is responsible is Mariah's ex-husband and the girl's father. He's been indicted by a Bexar County jury. Tonight, Mariah spoke to the night team's John Paul Barajas about how her family is trying to heal.
I had 5 or 6 broken bones, 7 gunshot wounds, about a 10-inch incision on my abdomen.
Mariah Claire spent the last 3 months trying to recover from an April 10th attack. San Antonio police say her ex-husband, Stephen Claire, shot Mariah, then stabbed their daughters. The attack cost 11-month-old Willow her life. 2-year-old Rosalie survived.
Rosalie had her initial surgery to kind of put everything back inside of her. There was a lot of swelling and things like that.
Since April, both Mariah and Rosalie have had 2 surgeries each. They're expected to make full physical recoveries.
You are walking like a big girl.
Yeah. But the psychological wounds are still deep.
We'll never get to hear my daughter tell me that she loves me.
And for Rosalie, she has nightmares.
And something so innocent, like I'm in my kitchen cutting vegetables. And I use, the large knife out of my knife block, and she was terrified.
Now a grand jury has indicted Stephen Claire. He's charged with capital murder of a child under 10, attempted capital murder of a child under 10, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon causing serious bodily injury. The death penalty is a possibility in the case.
I don't know that there is a punishment severe enough for the crime that he committed. No matter what they decide, he should never be a free man again.
It's not clear if Stephen Claire will face the death penalty or not yet. The DA hasn't taken it off the table and says their Capital Crimes Committee is reviewing the case. As for Claire, currently he is in jail, and that's where he'll stay until his trial because a judge revoked his bond. The Paul Elizondo Tower, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
John Paul, thank you. 10,000 more babies in Texas were born between April and December of last year, and researchers think that that's because of Texas's 2021 abortion ban. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University created a model of the number of expected births without the ban, and they estimate that 9,800 live births between April and December of last year would not have happened if the ban wasn't put into effect. Now, that ban went into effect last September. It bans all abortions after a heartbeat is detected, which is at about 6 weeks into a pregnancy.
The property tax legislation could finally move out of the state legislature tomorrow. State senators approved 2 of the 3 bills today. The Senate will vote on the 3rd piece of the $18 billion package tomorrow afternoon, just as the Texas House is expected to have its say on the full proposal. If it passes both chambers, the governor could sign it by the end of the week. You can read more about the property tax deal and what's in there on KSAT.com.
Governor Greg Abbott reporting he's got a lot of campaign cash saved up. The Abbott campaign announcing today that he raised $15 million in the 12 days after the regular legislative session. It's the most money that he's ever collected after a session that followed a statewide election. Abbott's team reports that 94% of that money came from 5,200 contributors, 94% of which were Texans. His total campaign funds now stand at more than $23 million.
And speaking of the governor, we now have a better look at Governor Greg Abbott's new floating border wall. See these giant buoys there? Once fully installed, the controversial string of buoys supposed to keep migrants from crossing over the Rio Grande. Just another part of Texas' multi-billion-dollar effort to secure the border. Concertina wire and razor wire, as well as shipping containers on the edge of the Rio Grande, have all been used to keep migrants from crossing in the past. Christopher Olivares with the State Department of Public Safety says despite the new measure, he's sure attempts will still be made to cross the river.
Do know for a fact that whether it be a migrant or whether it be a smuggling organization in Mexico, they're going to try to find ways to defeat this barrier. So we will have manpower that will be monitoring this barrier. And of course, if there's any damages or anybody does make it across, then they could possibly face some type of state criminal charges.
This installation is completely state funded. It has received backlash from several environmentalists and migrant advocacy groups.
Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. Inflation cooling for the 12th month in a row. That's according to today's Consumer Price Index from the Labor Department. Annual inflation slowed to 3% last month, which is a sharp drop from this time last year when inflation spiked to 9%. Now, while the writers' strike continues, Hollywood actors say, hey, they could strike too. Members of the Screen Actors Guild say that if the union doesn't reach a deal with the major studios and streaming services by midnight Pacific time tonight, they're walking off. They want new protections like restrictions involving the use of artificial intelligence to create characters using actors' voices. Now, a reminder, the writers' union has been on strike since May, so if the actors join them on the picket lines, all Hollywood productions would be brought to a halt. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. Coming up, post-Prime Day thieves ready to strike. Yes, thousands of packages will soon be delivered to San Antonio doorsteps. Coming up, what police say you should do to avoid them.
Prime Day could make for some prime targets. Packages filled with Amazon Prime Day deals will start popping up on doorsteps this week. And there's no doubt that lurking thieves are thinking about snatching them right off your doorstep.
Not something you want to think about, but security.org says that post-Prime Day package thefts could actually set a record this year. The Night Team's Patty Santos tells us what police are suggesting that you do to keep track of your deliveries.
I'm going to pick up some more tomorrow and the next day.
We caught up with Joseph Brown as he picked up one of his Amazon deals at this locker north of downtown.
So much more convenient to leave it at these Amazon boxes here where I know it's secure and I can come and get it at any time.
He started using it after repeatedly falling victim to package thieves.
Porch pirates will travel anywhere.
This weekend and throughout the week, they're going to start making these deliveries. So now's the time.
San Antonio police are urging communities to be vigilant. They're bracing for a boom in package theft reports.
If you see something suspicious, if you see someone that's not supposed to be on your neighbor's driveway or in their porch, call the police. Be a good neighbor.
Here's how police say you can keep thieves at bay. 1, track your package and ask someone to get it off your front porch.
Have someone home to pick it up right away.
2, use visible security cameras as a deterrent. 3, have the package shipped to your workplace or a smart locker.
It's a lot more convenient because, like I said, I don't have to worry about anybody stealing it. I have my own code. I just come, scan it, my own privacy, and I just take my package and go.
And that was our Patty Santos reporting. In other news now, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center really needs a favor from you. If you can donate blood, they need you to roll up your sleeves because they're getting 30% fewer donations this summer. The center says that 30% of the blood that they collect right here in South Texas, it goes to cancer patients. It also goes to people who have received organ transplants and newborns, moms, and other patients. Now, to address this pressing need of blood donations, South Texas Blood and Tissue announced the Pint for Pint campaign. Pretty cool. So if you give a pint of blood, you'll get a voucher for a pint of HEB Creamy Creations ice cream. And here's something else to sweeten the pot. Donors who give blood at a blood drive can receive a Luck of the Draw HEB gift card valued at up to $150. You can sign up and find more information right now on KSAT.com.
All right, let's take a live look outside right now. The temperature obviously cooling down as the sun goes down, but we're just in a brutal pattern right now. And like I said, it's not just San Antonio, Adam.
No, and we're going to look across the rest of the state and even another part of the country that's going to have it worse than us as the heat high slides westward. Our temperatures holding pretty steady in the days ahead. Take a look at our trend. 103 is, give or take a degree, is basically what you can expect every day through the middle and probably end of next week. Heat index, however, up to 110 at times. So let's look at the pattern. The upper level heat high, it's centered off to the west of us, basically over El Paso right now. You look at the high temperatures today, Lubbock, Midland, 110. 107 in Del Rio. Laredo made it up to 109. But notice Phoenix, not all that different than parts of Texas, really 110, the high temperature. And even Las Vegas, 107, which is the same as Abilene and Del Rio. The upper level high, it's sliding westward. And once it becomes centered over California and Nevada, as we get into this weekend, it's going to be pressing on them more than us. Our temperatures, again, we saw fairly stable for those highs, pretty consistent at least. Las Vegas on Sunday, the forecast is 116. That's 1 degree shy of the hottest temperature ever recorded in Las Vegas. But they have hit that actually more than one time at 117. But that's where it's really going to be pressing down. It's still going to be influencing our weather, and then it creeps a little bit closer to us and is going to elongate a bit over the southern plains as we get into the middle part of next week. Bottom line, it's not good for rainfall around here, unfortunately. I still think our friends up in North Texas, and especially elsewhere across the country, basically east of the Rockies from the Front Range all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, have decent chances of rain periodically over the next 7 days. But around here, we're looking dry, high and dry, more sunshine. And it's that relentless humidity that's giving us these high heat indices. I mean, you look at the maximum feels like temperature or heat index, Hondo and Pleasanton, even Del Rio, Eagle Pass, 115 for those feels like temperatures for a few hours in the afternoon. And this is going to be the trend here in San Antonio at the airport. 111 was the hottest heat index. And I just think this trend is going to continue. We're not getting rid of this humidity anytime soon. 90 degrees currently. Look at that dew point, 76. Very sticky and oppressive out there. 79 at 7 a.m. We'll have some of those low clouds early, and then by the noon hour, we're at 93, but already feeling like it's over 100. And then we hit a high temperature 4 p.m., 103 the high, feeling like it's 110. Port SA, Lackland area even, 105 tomorrow. New Braunfels, 104. Stinson on the south side, about 104 for the high. There's that trend, record challenging heat. Look at the record on Saturday, 102. We're forecasting 103. So record challenging heat is here to stay. Even next Tuesday will come pretty close.
All right, Adam, thank you.
All right, hard to believe when we're talking triple digits, but we're also talking football. And the Big 12 is the Longhorns say bye-bye.
Longhorns say bye-bye.
Yes,
they want to win the conference championship, of course, before heading over to the SEC. So Big 12 Media Days kicked off today up in Arlington. Coming up, we're going to hear from Horns coach Steve Sarkisian, and Malachi Branham from the Spurs had a nice bounce-back game last night. Coming up.
For me, everybody was kind of bashing me on Twitter, and I wanted to come out and play my game. So, but now for real, you gotta trust your work.
Malachi Branham bounced back from a 6-point game to drop 29 on the Wizards in Big Board Sports. Spurs second-year guard Malachi Branham said he saw the negative chatter on social media following his 6-point game Sunday night, and the Spurs lost to the Blazers. And last night he responded with 29 in the Spurs' 96-85 win against the Wizards. He made 12 of 20 field goal attempts, including 5 of 6 from three-point range. He started off cold with no points in the first quarter, but finished strongly with 13 in the fourth. So what changed for him?
So I just started hitting shots. My teammates found me. It was the play. Julian came up the court. He kind of pitched it back to me. That's when it kind of all started. So, appreciate my teammates for getting me open.
Dominic Barlow had 20 points, 7 rebounds last night. After 3 games in Vegas, he's averaging 16.3 points and 7.3 rebounds per contest.
He's took another step, from last year to this year. It's just he looks more confident. He looks more confident, and he's just playing loose, and he looks great.
Spurs will continue Summer League play Friday night with the Detroit Pistons at 8 p.m. local time. And no surprise here, Greg Popovich will be presented by David Robinson, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, and Tony Parker when he gets inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame next month. Tony Parker will be presented by Manu and Tim, and Becky Hammond will be presented by Cheryl Swoops and Teresa Witherspoon. The Hall of Fame ceremony will be held Saturday, August 12th in Springfield, Massachusetts, and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. And tonight on the ESPYs, the San Antonio Spurs were named the Sports Humanitarian Team of the Year for their work to uplift and support Uvalde. The award demonstrates how teamwork can create a measurable impact on a community or cause. You just know Texas Rangers rookie third baseman Josh Young had a blast at the MLB All-Star game last night in Seattle. He went hitless in his 2 plate appearances, though, but he also got to hang out with some of the best big leaguers in the business. Yesterday, the fun started during batting practice when he was mic'd up.
I thought Randy was winning it. I thought he was going to win it. When he got that bonus time. His media yesterday was unbelievable. Did you ever look over there? When media started, he had, like, you know those microphones they like hang above your head? There was probably 30 of them. And it was just like, wham. Simeon usually leads our party for ground balls, and we do whatever Simeon says.
We're going right now, grounders only.
All right. That's what we're doing. Cap said.
Cap said the second half of the MLB season starts Friday night. The Guardians will play at the Rangers at 7:05 at Globe Life Field, and the Astros will play at the Angels Friday night at 8:38. Texas football and Big 12 media days after the break. In college football, Big 12 Media Days kicked off today at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The 2-day event will wrap up tomorrow. Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, and BYU are joining the conference this season, taking the Big 12 to 14 teams. Texas is the preseason fave to win the Big 12, and they haven't won the title since 2009. Head coach Steve Sarkisian said winning the league title would be a great send-off before heading to the SEC in 2024. Today, he was asked, what is quarterback Quinn Ewers doing to get better?
What he did coming into this offseason is continue just to pour into what does he need to do to be the best quarterback for the University of Texas. And the result of that is we've seen his body composition change. We've seen a level of maturity change. We've seen him really dialing in and understanding schematically what we're trying to do offensively change.
I learned a whole lot. About myself last year and really how much this sport means to me. It showed me what I need to be, for this team and for myself and kind of how I need to approach things.
Texas will kick off the regular season Saturday, September 2nd, 2:30 p.m. at home with Rice. Today up in Frisco, the Reagan Rattlers girls golf team won the 2023 PGA High School Golf National Invitational. The Reagan team of Marissa Loya, Lydia Portlock, Camille Pazuki, Maria Ortiz, and Danielle Bailey shot a combined 920 in the 3-day 54-hole tournament to win the girls' invitational by 35 strokes. Congratulations. And tonight in soccer, SAFC won at El Paso Locomotive FC 2-1 is your final.
I knew they could do it.
What'd you say earlier? Derail the locomotive.
Derail the locomotive.
And that's what they did.
There you go.
Mission accomplished. Thank you, Larry. All right, before we go to break, we want to read the lottery Powerball numbers tonight. Again, look at that estimated jackpot. $750 million, 23, 35, 45, 66, 67. The Powerball number is 20. Good luck. We'll be right back.